Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So here's another video for you guys today. This time it's a test hand and combo video for Endymion Pendulum. Now I promised to bring this out to you guys a while back since my video did hit past 1,000 views, which I thank you all for that. And again, sorry for the delays. I've just been so busy these last few days, so I haven't had time to really record anything. But yeah, and also this is actually a redo video, funny enough, because yesterday I recorded this and just when I was about to upload it, I realized that my camera angle got bad somehow and I had to just scrap that video and just redo the whole thing. And the main thing says my extra deck monsters, especially on these zones, were just not visible somehow. So I think that I didn't have my camera stand tight enough, and I think the camera just sort of dipped down. So again, once again, I'm sorry for that. I did make a couple minor changes on this deck. Most importantly, I cut the Into the Void, and I also cut Mythical Beast Jackal. And the only reason I did this is simply because someone pointed out that Duelist Alliance, the card itself, can also search out pendulum spells and traps as well, as long as, again, pendulum's in the name. And I didn't realize that. I thought it only searched out monsters, so I decided to add in 2 copies of that. I also threw in my 3rd copy of Magical Abductor, simply because Magical Abductor is just that good of a secondary opener next to Servant of Endymion. And yeah, like if I don't see Servant of Endymion, at least I have a chance of opening up with Magical Abductor, which still gets me pretty much the same value that I kind of need. So yeah, that's the main changes right there. Extra deck is still exactly the same as it was, and eventually I'm gonna dabble with this deck even more, because like this is one of those decks where I like to explore new options and yeah, try something new with it, you know. But anyway, let me go and give this a nice good shuffle and cut, and then from there we'll go and get started. All right, let's see what our opening hand is. Well, speaking of which, Magical Abductor. Okay, not a bad start right there. Okay, we got White Wing Magician. Okay, this is going to be like one of the best cards to open up with, so yeah, happy to see Spell Power Mastery. And last but not least, Instant Fusion. Okay, so we actually got a lot of good things we can do here. So first things first, we're going to go and activate Magical Abductor in our Pendulum Zone, because that's the one you want to use the most. I'm going to go and activate Instant Fusion, and the whole reason for this is simply because you want to try to avoid drawing Lockbird as early as possible. Sadly, this card is limited, so, but you know, if you happen to open up with it, then go for it. So we're gonna go and bring out Millenniumizer Strict, and then from there, this gets 1 spell counter. All right. Oh, and also don't forget to always pay your 1,000 life point cost. Now I'm gonna activate my Spell Power Mastery. Searches out any Endymion monster I want. Got a couple options here. You could easily go for the Mighty Master of Magic if you want to, which honestly, that might not be the worst choice, especially because, you know, it is one of your big bosses. And also, but another option is the Magister of Endymion, which also, you know, special summons 1 from the extra deck as long as you what do you call it, have counters for it. But based on what I got right now, I think Mighty Master is the way to go. And of course, this will receive 2 counters. And again, if your opponent tries to draw and Lockbird you, you do have the Millenniumizer Strict, which basically just acts as Called by the Grave. And yeah, so anyway, this actually gets 2 counters thanks to the effect of the Spell Power Mastery. Now we're gonna move those counters, and we're gonna go ahead and add 1 Pendulum monster. Well, any 1 Pendulum monster you want, really. Okay, so I think the correct choice here, like I said, you got options. I'm actually leaning towards Chronograph Sorcerer, and the reason for this is simply because I can pop it, special summon out my Time Gazer Magician, and just like that, I have instant link material for whatever I actually need. And yeah, like, it's just crazy, because keep in mind, I've not committed to my normal summon yet. So I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go and add Chronograph Sorcerer. And if I do this correctly, yeah, we should have a pretty good board state here. So let me just see what I got in my extra deck real quick, just to make sure. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and activate Chronograph Sorcerer. Of course, this gets another spell counter. And then we're gonna pop the Chronograph Sorcerer, special summon the Time Gazer Magician. All right. Now this is where it gets a little interesting, because like, again, I have 2 different options. I can either go beyond the Pendulum, but of course I do have to set one of these 2 in my Pendulum zones first if I go do that route. Or we can go into Crowley, into our spellbook engine, because I have not yet normal summoned, and that's actually pretty important. So like, you don't want to waste your normal summon too lightly. So I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go into Crowley, which requires 2 spellcasters to make, which both fit the criteria. And then we're gonna use the effect of Crowley. Pick 3 3 spellbook cards of different names. We'll get the Blue Boy, the Secrets, and the Knowledge. Let me find the Secrets. They're probably on the top of my deck. Actually, they are. Okay. And of course, one gets chosen to my hand at random. And quite honestly, either one of these would be good. Most ideally, I would like to see these 2. But we'll see what happens. So we're just gonna roll for it. All right, so we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so that's the one we keep. It's a 6. Okay, perfect. The rest go back to the deck. And then we're gonna activate the Secrets to search out the Blue Boy. And then from there, of course, always remember, keep adding those spell counters. Get these, then we're gonna normal summon, I'm sorry, I did that backwards. We're gonna normal summon the Blue Boy, then we're gonna search this out. Okay. All right, and now we're gonna go and activate the Spellbook of Knowledge. We're gonna go and send the Blue Boy, draw 2 cards. Okay, we got Harmonizing Magician and Servant of Endymion. Okay, so those are actually really good options. And of course, this gets our 3rd counter. All right. Now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is, like I said, we can do whatever we want at this point. We're gonna go and activate the Mighty Master. And then this gets yet another counter. And funny enough, I actually don't even have to go into Beyond the Pendulum anymore because I basically already have what I need. All right, so we can only summon anything from level 4 to level 7. So again, we got the options. So I'm trying to see what's in my extra deck. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and proceed into to perform our pendulum summon. We're gonna summon out 4. So off by hand, we're gonna go ahead and special summon the White Wing Magician, the Harmonizing Magician, the Performapal Celestial Magician, and from the extra deck, it's gonna be the Chronograph Sorcerer. All right, and then the effect of the Harmonizing Magician, we're gonna go ahead and special summon 1 Magician monster from our deck, but its effects are negated. Also has to be in defense mode. So we're gonna go into Oath Dragon Magician. And you might be wondering why Oath Dragon Magician? Well, this plus this is literally a easy bearing the floor. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and do. That way we at least have 1 good omni-negate. All right, next up, we're gonna go ahead and synchro summon these 2. Funny, actually, no, not yet. We're gonna hold off on that. Now I'm actually gonna go ahead and link off these 2 first to make Selene. All right, and Selene's effect lets us add any number of spell counters based on the ones we control and the ones that are in our graveyard. So we got 1, 2, because keep in mind, pendulum monsters do count as spell cards when they're in the pendulum zone. So that's 2 plus 1, 2, 3, 4. So she gets 6 spell counters. All right. All right. Now what we're going to do is synchro summon these 2. This gets banished if it's used as synchro material. And also I forgot to mention that Celestial Magician does have an effect on end phase because we did control pendulum monsters. We're going to go and bring out Borloat's Savage Dragon. And we're going to go and use the effect to special summon back the, well, not special summon, but to equip Crowley. So now it has 2 negates. And it gains its attack points, or, yeah. And next we're going to go ahead and use Selene's effect. We're going to move 3 spell counters to bring back the Millennium Ice Restrict. Because keep in mind, Instant Fusion does count as a fusion summon, so this is revivable now. And then, if we want to go the extra mile, we now have enough spell counters on field to remove. So we're going to remove 4 spell counters from, 4 spell counters from the Magical Abductor, plus 2 spell counters from the Selene to special summon out the Mighty Master of Magic. And of course, Mighty Master, if I'm not mistaken, you can count any number of cards you control that have spell counters, destroy up to that many number of cards on the field. So we do have 1. Let's see here. Okay, so yeah, you add spell counters onto this card equal to the number of the cards you destroyed. So we'll pop the magical abductor now, because we really don't need it at this point, and then just give him 1 spell counter. So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4 disruptions. And also, Celine cannot be attacked so long as you control an Endymion card. And just for good measure, we will go and activate Servant of Endymion. That's just like for good follow-up play. Because yeah, like if they destroyed this, then she'll be vulnerable to another attack. So it's just good to have like a backup piece. And yeah, this is actually a pretty solid board because yeah, we got 2 omni-negates, a spell and trap negate, this just called by the grave. And yeah, and also Mighty Master cannot be destroyed or cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. So yeah, not too bad, right? But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys a general idea of how this deck functions, what this deck can really do. And yeah, it's crazy once you really see what it can do. Sadly, I wish I had Jackal King on field to show you guys, but I didn't see it. But during the end phase, though, I will say this: after you resolve the effect of your Celestial Magician, you can then add another Pendulum monster. So probably just for good follow-up, I'd probably just add the Magister of Endymion, and also the fact that it's a high skill too. So yeah, like just another way to have some advantage. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will catch you guys again next time.